What's up, YouTube? It's GhostRider15 here, back at it again with another Edison format video. Today's video is going to be my dual review videos of all of my replays from both the Deck Devastators and Peak of the Beak tournaments. I got second place in both of those. So first I'm going to show off the Deck Devastators run. Um, as I shown in my last video, this is the list I use. I'll show off the Peak of the Beak list after this when I go over those replays. So yeah, let's start off with the Deck Devastators tournament run. So this match is a top 16 match that I played against Chainburn. It was a really interesting one. We just keep tying back and forth with the RPS. It's insane how many times we got a tie. Sheesh. Finally. I lose the RPS. So, this is my hand. I have Whitestone, Blue Eyes, Cards of Consonance, Tragodia, Heavy Storm. I already know my opponents on Chainburn. So they just set 4 pass, which is a very standard play for Chainburn. I have the Heavy Storm, so Heavy Storm goes crazy here, and I drew Future Fusion. I also have the Cards of Consonance to keep drawing more cards. The only thing is I don't have a Red Eyes, so I can't go crazy and just kill him. So I just go ahead and Heavy. He chains Wabaku, so that means I am not going to OTK this turn, even if I end up drawing into Red Eyes. But yeah, I hit so many traps, and Just Desserts, Dimension Wall, Reckless, and Wabaku. This is a very favorable matchup for me. I'd say it's like 90-10. Just because of the way Dragon Turbo works, and Prime Material Dragon also. So I just go ahead and get my pluses. And I draw into trade in, which is really good here. I can keep going. Draw into upstart, draw into another upstart. And here finally is a super rejuve. So I'm just going to go crazy here because I already discarded trade in for Cards of Consonance. And I have the Magical Stone Excavation as well. So now we're going to draw 8 cards total because I used the rejuve twice. And I draw into double rejuve. So here, I'm basically going to see my entire deck turn 1. I just keep these 6 because I feel like these are probably the best ones to keep. Maybe I could have just sent Tragodia to the graveyard because Chainburn doesn't really attack. But I don't know what else I would have kept. Like, there's nothing else I really want to keep here. Maybe the other Reckless, but that's about it. Okay, so anyways, he draws for turn, he summons Cyber Valley, and I am not worried about that at all. Like, that card does nothing to Dragon Turbo. I draw into Trade In, and then I activate Reckless, draw into double Cards of Consonance. Not useful here, but it's fine because I have Magical Stone Excavation to pitch him. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and use Pot of Avarice. Just get myself some more cards. Try to draw into another Red Eyes. And that's exactly what happens. I get another Red Eyes, which is gonna make an OTK here. Knowing that I'm playing against Chamber, and I know that back row isn't real. So I just go ahead and use the Brio. And he just scoops because he knows what's coming. Alright, on to game 2. My hand is kind of weird because although Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade are amazing in this matchup, I have it alongside with Card Destruction. And if I Card Destruction, now I'm losing these very, very vital cards in this matchup. But if I don't Card D, if I wait too long, he might just burn me to death, you know? So it's a bit awkward. He sets 4, sets 1 monster, passes. I'm getting the vibe that he just set Morphing Jar. So I'll just go ahead and heavy first. But now thinking about it, maybe I could have waited on this and just set it. He's gonna chain all his cards. He forgets to send this Dimension Wall to the graveyard, but I remind him. So here I end up making another misplay, which I caught afterwards as soon as I passed turn, so it was too late. So I card deed and I discarded all this, drew into another Super Rejuve. I'm only going to be drawing 1 for Super Rejuve because I only discarded 1 dragon. But because I made the read that that monster is a Morphing Jar, I can just set the Super Rejuve, and when he flips up the Morphing Jar on his end phase, I'm going to be drawing 3 cards instead of just 1 because Morphing Jar discards cards and it counts for Super Rejuvenation. So I ended up making a misplay here. And it's really bad because I ended up drawing the Royal Decree off of the Rejuve. I should have actually been drawing this Rejuve. I do get to trigger the White Stone, which still doesn't really help here. I don't have any trade-ins. And now he's just going to go crazy with all his pluses. If Morphing Jar resolves in a burn deck, whatever format it is, whether it be GOAT, Edison, or whatever, it's amazing. That really, really increases the burn strategy's odds of winning. So now I go ahead and activate my Instant Fusion because I'm trying to Black Rose his board. I'm just trying to get rid of everything. I know it's risky using the Instant Fusion because I do have to pay life points, but I really don't have a better way of just getting rid of all these cards. I don't want to attack because Dimension Wall just destroys me. All my monsters are very high attack. So, yeah, I just want to go ahead and nuke the board. So that's what I do. He chains a lot of different burn cards. A lot of draw power as well. I'm getting low. So now I start drawing, and here, unfortunately, my only normal summon is Drago. Because if I had something else that I can normal, I can bring out the Prime Material. That way I don't have to worry about losing to burn cards next turn. So he sets a bunch of cards, summons Cyber Valley, and passes. This is looking rough. So here I just go ahead and tribute the Prime because I don't want to lose to all these chainable burn cards. Any Solemn Judgment's the prime material, which tells me all those cards are burn cards, or at least most of them. So here I get heavy because I don't want to die to all his burn damage. And I end up going down to 800. This is very bad because he's going to tribute for Caius, and that's game. Caius for the win. On to game 3, though. On to game 3. This hand is amazing. I open up Future Fusion and trade in to get rid of all those blue eyes that are going to be stuck in my hand. And I get to send the prime material, which is very important in this matchup. He says, very cool. Thanks. So, I have Rejuve. That's going to let me go off. I'm going to be drawing 6 cards, which is perfect. The only way this hand could have been better is if I opened up Decree, because that would have basically sealed the deal. And obviously, I'm bringing out Prime. Draw 6. Draw 3 more. Draw another 3. I decided to keep the Lightning Vortex in my hand just in case he has some sort of like weird tech card up his sleeve. I don't know this guy's entire list, and Chain Burn isn't very common, so I really don't know what they side. So I just kept the Vortex in my hand just in case. And here I get hit with the Lava Golem, which I kind of expected, but at the same time I wasn't prepared for it. It ends up hitting my Red Eyes and my Prime, which is really good here. Now I know he has Morphine Jar once again. But here we end up catching that he cannot set the Morphine Jar that turn because he activated Lava Golem's effect. And Lava Golem prevents you from normal summoning or set the turn you special summon it. So now I activate Trade In. I draw into Heavy and Cardi. I really need to do something like ASAP because I know Morphine Jar is coming next turn. And I can't let this Lava Golem stick around for too long. So I think I'm just going to go with the Future Fusion play, or the Instant Fusion play. Just to nuke the board. And he chains everything, just because he wants as much damage as possible. Which is understandable, because he knows he's getting nuked anyway. And here, I think about it for a bit, and I still have to go with the Black Rose nuke, even if I don't like that play. Because this Lava Golem cannot stick on the field, because I'm at 700. I just lose if I keep it. And here, I set the Heavy, because that's like the only card I want to keep from this whole hand. Also, I don't want to deck out. I only have 7 cards left, and I'm going to be using this card D because I know I still have all my Red Eyes, well, 2 of my Red Eyes in my deck, as well as two Royal Decrees. I just want to be able to get those cards and seal the deal for the next turn. Plus, I discard his Morphine Jar, which is just nice. And also, I drew Avarice, which is going to prevent me from potentially decking out. And now I'll just go ahead and set up a board. Set the Kree. Summon Prime. It's looking really good. The only way I think I lose this duel is if he top decks another Lava Golem. At this point, I put him on You Better Have It. And he sets 2, which is perfect because I have the Kree set. So I know the game's over. Yep, that's pretty much it. So I won my top 16 match at the Deck Devastators tournament against Chainburn. And yeah, next up we're gonna watch the believe this is top 4 match of Deck Devastators. I played against Vayu Turbo this round. So he wins the RPS. I'm going second. He opens up Card Trooper, mills Sirocco. That's like the only one I didn't want him to mill. Like I'm fine with Compulsion Return getting milled, but Sirocco getting milled kind of hurts me. He only sets 1, which is exactly what I want to see. So I get my +1. Here, I have the option of summoning Drago, attacking to try to kill that Card Trooper, or I can just potentially set the Debris so the Card Trooper can't run it over, or I can even just set Reckless and pass because I do have the Trigodia and I'm very confident that I'm not going to get OTK the next turn. But I decided to go ahead and go with the Drago play because I don't want this Card Trooper to keep milling. I don't want him to hit like Vayus, Plagues, and all that good stuff. So I attack. The Trooper dies. I set the Reckless and pass. Another good thing about summoning the Drago is that it's gonna slow him down from being able to go crazy against me. I know it also slows me down, but right now I don't have Red Eyes anyway, so I'm fine with that. He searches for Necrogardna, so that's telling me that he has Grepher in his hand. And there it is. He sends Vayu, but he still can't banish it because I have the Drago. I draw Rejuve, which is really nice. Now I can start unclogging my hand and start drawing all the stuff I need to OTK. Also, I have this Reckless. So I just use the Reckless because it's not that risky to use it here. I am going to be drawing a bunch of cards with Rejuve anyway. I draw Upstart, I use the Upstart, and here I just use the Rejuve. I think I could have waited on this because if I attack, I don't want to give out as much information as possible, so yeah, this was a mistake on my part, I think. Yeah, definitely. I don't think it changes too much, but you almost never want to reveal information to your opponent unless you have to. So I just go ahead and start drawing for Rejuve, and I set my Vortex Trooper because there's nothing really I want to send back from this hand. Maybe the Blue Eyes, but also I don't want to be taking damage. I'd rather just set the Trooper and get myself a draw 1 for the next turn. So here, I discard the second copy of Debris Dragon, reveal Blue Eyes, and pass. He allures, he brain controls, and here comes Kaius. And Here, he's going to try to OTK me. He's like, I might as well try to kill him now. He has 6 cards in his hand. I can't let him OTK me. That's basically his thought process right now. But little does he know, I have the Tragodia in my hand. Thank God for Tragodia. Tragodia is insane. And he does shoots me right away, which really hurts. But it's not the worst thing ever. I have an insane play here. Thanks to well, actually no, not yet, not yet. I don't have it. I thought I did, but the Vortex Trooper got banished. So Black Rose would have been crazy here actually. So I just summon the Debris, summon Stone, and I make the Tragodia level 4. That way I can draw, or I can search for Blue Eyes and use the trade-in to draw 2 more. I make Catastrophe because although it's not great in this situation, it's the only level 5 I play in my extra deck, so I have to. And now I get to draw some more. And I draw Instant Fusion and Super Rejuvenation, which is really nice here. Now I have that level 3 I really need so I can Black Rose this board. But before that, I do want to get my Avarice. So maybe I can draw into like Red Eyes and Heavy Storm. That way I don't have to Black Rose. But I don't draw it. I draw into Card D and Reckless, which is okay, but I don't want a Card D right now anyway. Like, there's nothing good to discard. And I don't feel like I'm in desperation mode because this Black Rose can go crazy if it resolves. So I go ahead and Black Rose and just nuke the entire board here. I'm only drawing 1 for Reju, but it's fine. We have the Reckless Greed for next turn. I draw into Stone Excavation and Debris. Upstart into Future Fusion. Very nice. Alright, so now this trade-in's looking really nice, as well as this card destruction, because I know there's still Red Eyes in my deck. 3 as a matter of fact, like there's none in the graveyard, so this card D and this trade-in is gonna go insane. I draw into another trade-in. So now I know I can just win this game. Like straight up just win soon. So if I card D, I'm only going to be discarding 2 cards because I'm not discarding the Red Eyes, obviously. I'm not discarding the Debris because I need that to summon Red Eyes. So the only options are the Stone Excavation and the Rejuve. And I would be digging for a copy of Instant Fusion, but if I don't hit it, it's kind of bad. Because that set is most likely Hamster or Raikou. So I think of a better play. And I decide to summon the Breeze Dragon, banish it, bring out Red Eyes, and then bring out another stone so I can bring out the other Red Eyes. And now I can bring out Black Rose to go for Stardust. Now I don't lose to Raikou. And that's exactly what happens. He has the Raikou. I hate how he can still mill, but it is what it is. He mills really good. He mills Sirocco and Vayu. So now he has plays for the next turn. Fortunately for me, Brain Control's gone. That's like the one card I don't want to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Reju for 2 and just pass. I draw into Trigoria, which is a nice security blanket, just in case. And that's game 1. He has no answer to the board. On to game 2. I have Giant Trunade, Red Eyes, Instant Fusion, Upstart, and Trade In. This hand isn't really doing much at the moment, but I might get bailed out by my 6th card. Or after I Upstart. He starts out with a Grepher value into Necro play, which tells me that he has more darks to be able to discard for the following turn. I guess also he might be scared of me OTKing him, and Necro kind of protects him from that. He only sets 1. So this hand still isn't the best. I really can't do too much. I can kind of gamble it and Trunade, summon instant, summon Red Eyes, attempt to attack. But the problem with that is he does have the Necro to protect. I think really hard here because it's a tough decision to make. I decide to go for the Dragoness of the Wicked to summon Debris. Try to nuke the board here because I thought about it really hard and I can't let this Dark Grepher survive for another turn because he's just going to go ahead, pitch something, special summon Armed Wing next turn, go crazy. And I'm at 7,000. Well, technically 8,000 before the instant, but still, he might be able to OTK me back if I just pass turn and do nothing. So I Black Rose, and I hit 2 cards. I'll take the 2 for 2 trade. He only sets 1, passes it back to me. I draw into Whitestone, which is decent here. Not the best, but now I get hit by Dust Shoot and forget about that Whitestone. It's going bye-bye. So I just passed because there's nothing to do here. Like, nothing really good. Like, I guess I could have Magical Stone to grab back Instant Fusion, Special Summon, Black Rose, but I'm losing so many cards just to do that, and I feel like he has an answer anyway. He also has Necro still, so it's still not even worth it. And I draw to Whitestone again, despite the fact that I shuffled. I think I shuffled twice. I just pass. And now, finally, I draw into Cards of Consonance, which is going to get this engine going. Sometimes you just got to be patient with Dragon Turbo, you know, and hope that they don't OTK you. And if you're able to draw your engine, there's a good chance that you're going to OTK them. So now, Blue Eyes, discard, discard. I keep it going, and I draw into Reju, which is great. That's already 3 dragons in the graveyard. And I have this Quackimiro Drago. Thinking about it, I think it would have been better if it was not Quackimiro Drago. Because I do have Giant Trunade. If this was like a Debris Dragon, that's just game. So I just attack with Drago. Set 3 so I don't have to discard them on the end phase. This is exactly why I prefer Tragodia over Gores. There's going to be a lot of situations when you have to set cards so you don't lose them in the end phase to Super Rejuvenation's effect. And if you do that, you can't Gores anymore. So if you draw into Gores, it's not doing you any good. I draw another Rejuve. I discard Future Fusion because at this point there's like a lot of dragons that were already in the graveyard and it's not going to be as strong. Also, I can't even resolve it because Drago's on the field right now. Here comes Sirocco. Sirocco hits me for 100, which is fine. It's only 100. Now I draw into Debris Dragon, and this is basically just game. This is game. I go ahead and get myself another +1. And I go ahead, special, and activate the Avarice to possibly get a instant fusion. But I do have the Stone Excavation, and I already have an instant fusion in my graveyard, so I guess I was thinking too hard about it. I didn't really need to do that. I guess I just wanted the pluses with the White Stone and Blue Eyes. And here, I actually make a misplay that almost cost me the game. I don't know what I was thinking here. I guess I just forgot that Necro Gardna was in the graveyard. So I only end up summoning 2 Blue Eyes or 2 Red Eyes. For some reason I thought this was game. So I just attacked. But if you add this all up, it's not game if they use Necro. So for some reason, I just blanked out there and forgot about Necro. I was like so mad at myself after I realized that. I'm basically short 100. Like this, I would have been so upset if I would have thrown the match because of this. Like, really upset with myself. And here, I'm just hoping that he can't get me on the crackback. And fortunately for me, he's not able to. So I do end up taking that match. GG's. Alright, so last but not least is the grand finals of Deck Devastators. This is the match you've all been waiting for. And once again, I lose the RPS. But despite all that, I don't feel too bad about it because Dragon Turbo is a deck that doesn't rely on RPS too much. Because you can still go crazy and plus and OTK them despite losing the dice roll or the RPS. Here, my hand is not the strongest, but I do have Vortex Trooper to shuffle 2 cards back. And the shuffle backs, for sure, Pot of Avarice. That's like not debatable. The second one is kind of debatable. Like you can send back Red Eyes because it's not really doing much right now in the early game. Because if you end up drawing into Blue Eyes, now Trade-in is live and Rejuve is live. And if you send back the Breeze and you draw Cards of Continents, then your Cards of Continents isn't doing anything. So I think the best choices are Avarice and Red Eyes. I draw into a Stone Excavation and another Red Eyes, so not that good, but at least the Rejuve is live now. I attack thinking that that's a Raikou. It ends up being just a Vayu. At least I don't take any damage. Could have been worse. Could have been a hamster. I don't like discarding Red Eyes, but I need to get my engine going. Like, I can't just play the waiting game here. And I draw into Future Fusion, which is pretty good. Of course, Caius comes down. I take 24 to the face. And I draw into another Reckless. Wish I could have drawn these turn 1. And I do have the heavy, so I feel like this Future Fusion must resolve. So I need to heavy, even if it's just for 1 card. It ends up being just a Deep Prison. Now I resolve the Future Fusion. Here, I use the trade-in. And I draw into Card D and Red Eyes. So, I have some options here. I can either use the Card D, draw 5 cards, and potentially try to get over this Caius, or I can slow roll it a bit, set the 2 Reckless, and then the following turn basically guarantee that I'm going to win. It's a bit scary to wait because I'm at 5,600, and there's so many ways I can die here. But if he's not able to do it, I just win. Also, I already have a Red Eyes in my graveyard. If I ditch another Red Eyes, I'm only left with 1, unless I draw Avarice. So it is a bit risky. So either way, there's a risk involved in both situations. And I think the better play would have been just going for the card D. Because there's also a play or a value in the graveyard. So basically a Dark Grepher or an Armageddon Knight makes it that I die. If there was no value in the graveyard, I think I could have just waited. Because if he has Dark Grepher or Armageddon, he's likely only going to be sending 1 card, and it's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to go Armed Winger, Armor Master, and kill me. So yeah, I should have card D here. I end up going with the double Reckless play. And he has the Armageddon Knight. That's going to end up killing me. Unless I draw into a Tragodia with these double Reckless greeds. So here he bounces back the Future Fusion, which I don't really understand. I guess he's worried that the Future Fusion is going to stay on the field and I'm going to summon a 5-headed dragon if I do drop the Tragodia. But now this also plays into Gores. Maybe he thinks that I just don't play Gores, and I guess by this point many players don't think I do anyway. Which is usually true. So I guess I understand this. Now I have to Reckless and Pray. But I don't draw into anything. So I lose game 1. On to game 2. So I draw the nuts in game 2. I'm not gonna lie. This hand is really nice. Future Fusion comboing with Card Destruction is basically the trinity of Dragon Turbo. It's basically equivalent to like Graceful plus Pot of Greed or something like that, you know? This is basically card advantage for days. Like, I'm gonna be drawing so many cards. So here I think about it for a bit, and there's an argument for not using the card D, because there might be a hand of like Values, Plague Spreaders, Necrogardnas, Sirocco's, and that's basically gonna help him out. But at the same time, resolving this card D almost guarantees me a super rejuve. So I thought about it hard, and I just go ahead and summon the Debris Dragon, so I can bring out, um, Red Eyes. And here I make a play that comes up a couple of times, but not too often. So I'm gonna summon this Prime Material to synchro with the White Stone, and I can go for Ancient Fairy and bring out the Quackamiru Drago, because I feel that Drago plus Decree turn 1 against Vayu Turbo is really strong. Here he heavies because I guess he was expecting the Decree. Sirocco comes down and kills my Drago. And he only sets 1. And I thought about it really hard, and I already have the Prime Material in the graveyard to protect me from cards like Torrential, Mirror Force, even Icarus Attack if he happens to play it. So, first I activate the Upstart. First things first. Upstart has to be used, to see what else you have. See all your options before you attempt to do anything. I draw into Rejuve. And I'm thinking really hard here. I put this Red Eyes in defense because I am scared that it is a Mirror Force. I know that I can just revive Primat and protect, but at the same time, I don't want to lose to a Royal Oppression. I think I'm much more scared of a Royal Oppression in this situation than I am of a Mirror Force. Just because of how insane Royal Oppression is here. I don't have Heavy, I don't have Decree, I don't have Trunade. So Royal Oppression just blows me out, So I just go with this play. He has nothing here. So I'm definitely getting the Royal Oppression vibe. He sets another, he passes. Now I draw the Decree. And I'm still going to commit to the game plan of not special summoning with Red Eyes, because now that he has another back row, there's even more chances that he has the Oppression. And I have the Decree, so I can just wait it out. So I just attack. It's only Sirocco, which is perfect because there's no values in the grave. I go ahead and set my Decree and pass. He sets another, which is exactly what I wanted. Like, I don't want him doing much. Just setting one monster, passing is fine with me. Because now, even if it is a Raikou, I can summon the Primat now, thanks to this Decree. So I use the Red Eyes effect. He changed the Oppression, but I have Decree. And I win game 2 on to game 3. The very, very crucial game 3. So I drew Upstart, Flamvell Guard, Blue Eyes, and Raikou. I sided in the Raikou. For turn, I drew Super Rejuve. So I drew Card D, and I drew Debris Dragon, which is really nice because this card D's gonna go insane. So I card D first, and then I chain the Rejuve, just in case he has like a Solemn. So here, I'm just gonna summon the Drago, just in case that's a hamster, It's just a Necrogardna. Now I draw 3. Reveal the stone and pass it to him. I don't want to reveal Red Eyes just in case he Mind Crushes me. Because if he Mind Crushes the White Stone, I really don't care too much. So he sets 3 back row. Or 2 back row and 1 monster. Here, I'm really, really hoping that I draw into Heavy Storm or Trunade, but it just doesn't happen. Because Trunade or Heavy would have been insane right now. He does shoots me. He gets the White Stone. I shuffle twice. I upstart, and I draw into another White Stone. He asked me if I shuffle. I say yes. He asked me for the logs. And I show him the logs. There's no cheating going around here. So White Stone gets activated. Searches for Blue Eyes. I go ahead and draw 2. And here is probably the biggest misplay of the tournament. I think right here I was getting too greedy, and I let it get to me that I was so close to winning the whole thing. And you'll see right now. Well, first I go ahead and get my +1 with Red Eyes, or with the White Stone for Blue Eyes. Now, now's the time when I make the big mistake. So here I discard Blue Eyes with Magical Stone, and I also pitch Card Trooper, because my thought process here is I'm gonna summon Debris Dragon, bring back Card Trooper, Black Rose him, and then just basically end the game with Instant Fusion plus Red Eyes to bring back Drago or something. But I don't end up respecting the back row, and it ended up being Royal Oppression. So I think the better play here would have been to just normal summon the Card Trooper, mill 3, and apply the pressure, because 2 1900 beaters that don't lose to Royal Oppression is very strong. Also, once Card Trooper dies, I get to draw a card, which gets me closer to Heavy Storm or Giant Trunade. So I think this was a big mistake. So he ends up milling Deck Devi, Crow, and Allure, which is exactly what I like to see getting milled. All the hate. I set 2 because I'm going to be drawing for Super Rejuvenation. I don't want to discard on the end phase. I draw into nothing that's going to save me here. Nothing that's going to let me advance my game state. I do have the set Magical Stone to try to do something, but I don't think it's worth discarding cards, so many cards, just to get back like an upstart. Because if I choose Super Rejuvenation, that means I have to discard these Red Eyes, but I don't want to be discarding Red Eyes right now, because Red Eyes is what's gonna potentially win me the game. So I just set Torrential Tribute and pass, because Torrential is something that I can actually use during his turn as interaction. So he summons Fossil Dyna, and I have to think really hard here. Like, do I want to let this Fossil Dyna live and let him get greedy and try to get a, and I can try to get a +1 with this Torrential Tribute? It's tough because if I don't Torrential here and he doesn't get greedy, he can just keep poking with the Fossil Dyna and I end up losing. I do side in Lightning Vortex, so there's still Vortex in my deck, so it's not like I don't have any other answer to it. But at the same time, I felt like it was too greedy to not use the Torrential. So I just use it. I draw into the third Red Eyes, which is insane. Uh, like I have all the gas in my hand, all of it. But this Royal Oppression here is just preventing me from doing anything. There's still, there's still Heavy Storm and Trunade in my deck, and there's 10 cards left. So I'm just playing the waiting game here, the patient. I'm being very patient. So here I just set trade in, pass. That way I don't have to discard it. So he summons Vayu, just swings, and finally I draw Heavy Storm, which is finally gonna let me push. Mm, now that I think about it, I maybe could have waited before using Heavy because I still have a Debris Dragon in my deck, which is gonna basically guarantee the OTK, so I can go Brio. Because right now I'm not guaranteed to OTK thanks to Necrogardna. But because I saw this Heavy in my hand right away, I think I got too excited about it, and he's only on 2 cards in his hand, so I'm thinking like, what can possibly go wrong here? You know, like it's only 2 cards. I might as well just go all out. Also, another reason I think this was kind of bad is because I also have the Magical Stone Excavation in my hand, which is a card that can be very useful for future plays. But now that it's getting destroyed, I don't have access to it anymore. So yeah. So here I just go with the Debris Dragon. I mean the Quackimero Drago play because it's not enough to kill him. Even if I go triple Red Eyes and then summon Blue Eyes, it's not enough to kill him through this Necrogardna. But if this Necrogardna wasn't there, then that would have been game. Assuming he doesn't have Gores in his hand. So now, I'm basically just praying that he has nothing in response to this field. Because right now he can't go Vayu. He can't bring out the Armed Wing. But as soon as I see this, I know what's happening. I know I messed up. And there it is. That basically broke my entire board. So here he passes turn, I draw into Lightning Vortex. Not the greatest, but at the same time it is going to prevent me from straight up dying. Because next turn I know that Vayu, Sirocco, Armed Wing is basically game along with the Caius. But now he has to have more to kill me if I lightning him. I would have preferred to draw a dragon monster, of course, like Debris Dragon. But it's all I've got. Now I just gotta hope he doesn't have anything alongside the Armaduin to kill me. But of course, he has the burial. And there's the game. The sad part is, my next draw was gonna be Debris Dragon. So I think if I would have been a bit more patient with the Heavy Storm, it would have given me time to be able to draw into the Debris Dragon and go off and win the game from there. But you know, it is what it is. It was a learning lesson, and you just got to keep moving forward because you're not always going to win. There's going to be times when you misplay. It's part of the game as long as you learn from your mistakes. So yeah, this video has already been dragging on for a while, so I think I'm going to make a part 2 video for the second run for the Peak of the Beak video. I'll be doing that in a separate video instead. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. This is Ghost Rider 15 signing out.